So this is the first session, or maybe the session before first session for the prep course for the refrigeration and air conditioning system mechanic 313D and 313A. And I'm gonna go through the process that how you guys can get into the challenge exam, or if you already spent the apprenticeship program, how you can get into that and prepare for the exam. Before I start the session, I gotta introduce myself. My name is Ali Karavan. I'm teaching more than 10 years in Ontario community colleges. My background is a master's degree in building science and bachelor degree in mechanical engineering. And I've been in the field, working in the HVAC field. It's almost 30 years. I got my license 313A back in 2006, and G1 gas license, TSSA G1 gas license in 2008. I also have RASDT and RHDT designations from HRAI, and I'm BCIN certified. Yeah, I worked as an engineer, as a technician, as a company owner before, but I would love teaching actually. That's what I got it to here, and I stay here for 10 years now. So what I wanted to talk to you about the license today is we gotta go with our topic is the CFQ exam. But everybody says the CFQ is a challenging exam. That's the reason, that's why it's challenging. So exam is too long, and it's covered lots of materials and knowledges. I go through the ministerial stuff and give you the list of the topics, but yes, it's lots of material. It's very wordy. And when you go through the question, sometimes you see two that's a multiple choice. That's a multiple choice exam. And when you go to the questions, sometimes most of the questions, they have two choices very similar together. Which one you gonna?
What makes the exam? No, nothing.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. Would you please unmute yourself, so if you have any question, you can actually open the video and talk to me. And so there's a time limit for this exam. That's almost 120 to 150 questions. And if you wanted to go through all of these questions, there's lots of stress, and there's a time limit for that. You need to manage your time. So in this course, I can help you to take care of the some questions, some examples, multiple choice questions. We bring it in, and at the end, I wanted you guys be confident when you go to when you go and write the exam. That's the reason for this course. So let's take a look to the certificates, the HVAC certificates. We know that many of the skilled trade in Canada have the final certification examination that needs, and HVAC is one of them. We have two certificates for the HVAC, 313A and 313D. 313A, which is the commercial side of that, needs 9,000 hours. People need to work 9,000 hours as an apprentice, and they need to spend 3 levels of the school training, which totally is 720 hours in a school. And for 313D, which is the residential side of that, it's 4,500 hours, and with the 2 level of the school training, and that's going to be 480 hours in a school. So when apprentices, they spend all of this job experience and the hours of the work, they are eligible to write the exam and they can get the certificate. So 313A is Red Seal certificate and is interprovincial certificate. So if you get 313A, so you can work anywhere in Canada, and 313D is only for Ontario for residential. So skilled trade in Canada is responsible to manage the apprentice and also certification. So everything is documented in a skilled trade as a training standard logbook. So this training standard is explain all of the responsibilities that the apprentice and the employer need to follow. It's actually, there is a contract between the apprentice and employer, and they both need to sign that contract. So if you go to the competencies, we have those responsibilities. They are all documented, and you can go through all of the detail of that. And that's a good source actually for the people that they wanted to write the exam. The reason that I bring this stuff in here is if you go through this document, which is almost 100 pages, there's lots of good information that you guys can get it from that, and that can help you to write the exam. If you take a look to this one, which is a part of that, is, for example, for installation of the HVAC system components and accessories, you need to know all of these parts, all of these subtitles. For example, you need to know how to evacuate the HVAC system, how to join the piping and tubing, how to charge the system, how to install the electrical system components and accessories. And all of these are, if you go through them, there are details like this page, as you see here, for example, for installation, all of the details are here. And if you take a look, you know what kind of skills they are looking for and what kind of skills you need to know. So apprentices, when they complete all of these 9,000 hours or 4,500, when they finish each part, they sign date, they put the date, they sign it, and also the employer or supervisor sign and date it, and that this document need to submit to the skilled trade. And when they accept all, the apprentice can write the exam. So if you already have some experience, you don't need to go through this process. So Fanawaran is going to help you to submit your document, and they're going to get your resume, your education, and they're going to submit to the skill trade. And
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
How many questions in the exam, and what is the sector? Which like what is the portfolio of the exam? Like which sector? How many questions?
It's almost 125 questions in the exam, and you have 4 hours to complete it. And
it's so many sector, like all the HVAC equipment, like different like heat, like ducting, heating, cooling,
yeah, I go through the
refrigeration.
topics.
Is like how is segmented with what?
Yeah, if you wait, I can go through further, and
okay, thank you.
have all of the topics of the exam that you need to go. So this is a curriculum. The topics comes from the curriculum that skilled trade prepared. If you wanted to write the exam 313A, that includes 3 levels: basic, intermediate, and advanced. And 313D has 2 levels. The level 1 for 313A and 313D is the common. So level 1 is common for both of them. and level 2 and 3 for advanced is only for commercial, and level 2 intermediate is only for 313D. But what is included in these levels? The level 1 curriculum is organized in 7 subjects. Let's start from the trade practice, mechanical cooling cycle fundamentals, mechanical cooling cycle components and accessory, electrical fundamentals, cutting, soldering, brazing, installation, basic maintenance. So that's the level 1. And as you see here, that's the total hours that the apprentices, they spend in a school. It's 240 hours. And for each of them, you see that here, the theory and the practical are different. For example, the fundamental electrical has 60 hours total, 28 hours in theory, and 32 hours in practical. So they're supposed to do 32 hours in the lab or in the shop, in a school, in trade schools. So that's a level 1, which is similar for 313A and 313D. Intermediate level for 313A is a start from pressure enthalpies, load calculation, cooling system and components, which is focused on industrial, commercial, and mostly commercial units, system design and installation, electrical and control, and handling, material handling. So that's intermediate level. And level 3, which is the advanced, it's applied psychrometric, load calculation, prints, heat load calculation, air cooling system, air distribution system, and duct design, duct working, duct sizing, this stuff. Advanced electrical and control, and electronics. And the new rule for skilled trade, it's actually they increased the 313A from 3 levels to 4 levels. They are going to.
Hi, sir. I have a question, if you don't mind. Sorry for interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, which part of this one is one of these have applied this one industrial commercial? So you just write it down. Is there the front of there? The hours total 21, theory is 6 hours, and practical is 15, right? So if I just complete this one is hours, so after they given the exam or something like that, is a test or something?
No. Again, if you are in the system of the apprentices, you're supposed to go through all of these process. You need to have 9,000 hours experience, working experience, and also you need to pass all 3 levels in schools. But
Yeah, because I have a back home experience in the Middle East. I have lots of experience, 10 to 11 years.
yeah, I know.
So,
If you have experience, you can
okay,
actually shortcut all of these, and you already passed this stuff. You can send the resume to a skilled trade. Again,
okay.
Fan is going to help you. They get your document, they submit it to the skilled trade, and if you are eligible, you can challenge the exam. You can go and challenge the exam.
Okay, so
You still need to.
this exam is taken from the TSSA, right?
No, this one it comes from a skilled trade.
Skilled
Skilled
trade,
trade is
yeah.
organized these.
So what is the
TSSA
difference
is
between the G3 and G2?
this is a heating courses. I'm talking about only for cooling.
Refrigeration.
Yeah, for refrigeration. But that's another thing that the TSSA.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Can I say something about it? About the gas and G2 and G3, you can call us, and you guys have my number, and I'm gonna share it again in the group, and you can talk about it. But about your experience in refrigeration or even gas, we can help you guys. You just call me, and I'm gonna give you the step-by-step instruction. All right?
Yeah, for all of the peoples in this session, if you have experience back home or even in Canada and you did not get into the apprentice program, you can actually, if you are eligible and you are eligible for 9,000 hours work or 4,500 hours work, you can do the challenge exam. That's for only for cooling side. For heating, which is the G2, G3, and G1, you can also do that, but again, this session is just for the cooling section. And if you have any question, you can ask from Panawara. You can just send the email or you call them and talk to them.
Thank you, boss. Thank you very much.
No problem. So these three levels that I talk about is the topic, because somebody asked me at the beginning, what's the topic for this course? And the reason that I bring this stuff in, I just wanted to explain the topic that we are talking in the course. So for 313D, which is the residential side of that, and again, Skill Trade is going to organize all of this certification and the exam. You are expecting for two levels, the basic one and intermediate. The basic is common with 313A, and intermediate is only focused on the residential side. So basic level, I already talked about that, and that's the intermediate for 313D, which is psychrometric. That's a topic for that. Psychrometric in residential, load calculation in residential, air conditioning system, they're all in residential. The units below 5 tons of the refrigeration. Air distribution, electrical and electronic. So, but I got to talk about the course construction that we have in Fanawara. It's actually HVAC 1 and HVAC 2. We have two 40 hours courses for the prep exam. This is only for preparation of the exam. So we expect you guys have experience and you wanted to prepare for the exam. So HVAC 1, it's covered 100% of 313D, which is the residential, and almost, I would say, 40% of the 313A, which is 40 hours course. And HVAC 2, it's only focused on the 313A, intermediate and advanced level, which is 40 hours.
Sir, in refrigeration, it's not like HVAC G3 and then you pass G2. In this case, you can go directly to 313A.
If you have experience, if you want to write the exam, the challenge exam, and you have enough experience in commercial, 9,000 hours, you can directly apply for 313A.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah. But you need to show them you already worked. You need to be eligible as a technician that already worked 9,000 hours in the field. The other course that we have here is a kind of practical course.
Excuse me, sorry for interruption. I just want to check, inquire regarding that. I'm having experience of 10 years, but I can't
Excuse
recheck.
me, Amjad.
Yeah.
If you have a question at the end, you can ask, because I know that everybody has a different situation, and I don't have time for that. You explain to me about your experience. Please ask Fanawara. You send them, and they're gonna guide you what you need to do. Because I
Yeah,
know
okay, sure.
everybody has a different situation here and different experience. So
Okay.
yeah, please ask them. Yeah, just call them and ask them. I got to talk about the practical course, which is the troubleshooting and maintenance of the air conditioning and the heat pump system. That's another practical course, 40 hours course. And this course is actually go through some review for the theory side, and that's a hands-on training, shop experience, practical experience, which start with the pipe joining, electrical installation and troubleshooting, reading the schematics for the heat pump units and this stuff. And this course is pretty good for students that they don't have enough experience and they wanted to get into the trade and get familiar with the air conditioning system, or even for the apprentices or workers that already work in the field, that they wanted to upgrade their knowledge to the heat pumps. We know that there are lots of heat pumps already installed in Ontario, and those are a bit more complicated compared to the regular air conditioners. And this is a good course that we have them, and we go through all of this stuff in heat pumps. That's another course that you guys, if you guys interested, you can actually call and ask them. You can register for this.
Who should we calling for this kind of course?
Actually, Moral is going to send the
Okay.
information in the chat room now,
Thank you.
and the email address and the phone number, and you can contact them. So let's get back to the prep exam, which the textbook. There's some textbook I recommend you guys get it if you wanted to write the exam, or you can actually borrow from the library or used book, whatever you can get. And so the course that we developed is based on these 3 books: Refrigeration, Air Conditioning Technology. That's 1,600-page book. It's a big book. Electricity for Refrigeration, Heating and Air Conditioning Technicians, and Commercial Refrigeration. That's a book that I recommend you guys to use it. It's not mandatory, but the course is actually, we got lots of stuff, good stuff from this book, and also we packed them all in some PowerPoint presentation. So the material for the course, for each course, 313D and 313A, it's actually including 12 modules of PowerPoint lecture notes. For 313D, it's around 1,500 slides, PowerPoint presentation slide. There are lots of in-class activities, assignments, and we have lots of questions, multiple choice questions, pretty similar with the exam style. And during the course, you guys have some quizzes, midterm, and the final exam that assess yourself and see how much did you get it in the course. This is a list of the course material, the lecture notes. As I said, we have 12 modules. This is stuff you guys can practice by yourself because there are lots of materials, and you get ready before you come to the class, and we start to solve the questions, multiple choice questions. That start from the beginning, from the fundamentals, mechanical cooling cycles. Module 3 is the component, electrical, brazing and cutting, installation, all of the topics that I already talked about. That it's actually packed in these 12 modules, and that's for one course for 313D, and 313A has another modules. So that's about the material. And you guys have any question, you can bring it up.
This one is talking about the 313D, right?
Yeah, this stuff is for 313D. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, it's 313D and a part of 313A.
Okay.
But this 12 modules is going to cover level 1 for 313D and 313A, which is common, and level 2 of 313D, intermediate level of 313D.
Okay, thank you.
So basically, this topics is going to cover 100% 313D and 40% of 313A.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So my question is there requirement for experience only for 313D, or there must be some certification attached to it? I have only 6 months refrigeration course and I have around 10, 12-year experience. So when I submit my resume, should I include my education and experience, or just experience is enough?
Yeah, you need to send whatever you have which is related to the HVAC, theory side, education, or your work experience. Your work experience in back home and in Canada, whatever you have. And if again, if for 313D, if meet those 4,500 experience work, you can do the challenge exam.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, but I know everybody are different. You guys can send it to this web. That's an email address, and that's a phone number. I don't know. Moral send you the different one, but
It doesn't matter. That's the same. I'm gonna share another one in the group. Thank you for just
okay.
mentioning that. If this one was busy, you can call the other one that I'm gonna share. This is Kia, and the other one is Maral, and we are answering all of your questions about the experience.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So any question, guys, about the material? Because of what I wanted to do after this, I actually prepare some questions, which is pretty similar with the test question, with the exam question. 10 questions actually. We can go through them.
So one question related to the study material, as you mentioned about 3 books. Can we rent these books from the library or any public library, or like we have to rent some from specific places?
Yeah. You can actually search for there's some colleges, they have these books. I don't know the public libraries, they have them, but you can ask. Or you can actually search for the used one. I know those are not cheap. That's each of them, I think, is something around
I
$250.
think they already buy from the Amazon as well.
Yeah, you can actually buy from the Amazon as well, and also you can actually rent the PDF from the publisher. The publisher for this one is Cengage.
Okay.
You see here, let me just do, yeah, Cengage.
Mhm.
Cengage is the publisher, and you
Thank you so much.
can get the PDF from them.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, which is I think it's cheaper. But again, guys, you may don't need to use these books because we already put the stuff that you needed to these slides, and you have an access to these slides when you register for the course. So this is almost 1,500 slides, and this is more than the book actually. This is some stuff that you need to know in the field, and because you know that the exam for this trade is the job based. It's actually ask about some stuff that maybe you cannot find in the books as well, and it's all about your experience in the field, and we add that stuff in this material too.
So the Maral and your college is same, right?
I'm sorry.
Maral and is the same college, right? The one you are talking right now.
Yes, you can. You can call me Maral and Kia, it doesn't matter, and you can ask about your experience. If you have any question, I can just, if the instructor would just let me, I can just give you a brief explanation about the experience. Can I do that? Ustad?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, go
Sure.
ahead.
You just need to, when you want to just start writing your experience, you just need to answer our questionnaire as detailed as possible. And whatever experience that you have back home or here, just don't worry about it. Write whatever you can because we're not going to use all of it. We are going to tailor a letter for you according skilled trades criteria and your experience. And then that letter is going to be your fingerprint. So that's really important to be unique just about your own experience. And then we are going to send it to you, and you can just send it back home or wherever you have the experience from. And they're going to sign it. And the only thing that we need from you guys to ask that supervisor to be available at least for 3 months on the phone, and of course the email, because from skill trades they're going to contact them and they're going to ask them if this person telling the truth. They don't ask anything else. They just ask them that this person is telling the truth. That's it. They just need to answer the phone. And that's it. And then after that, we're going to communicate more with the skill trades and make you eligible for the exam. And the only thing that we need you to do, just come attend to the classes and study and just follow the instructor's demands. And I'm sure that you all going to be successful at the end.
Yeah, it's actually this, as I said, there are lots of materials need to be covered in this course. And I know most of you guys working and that you don't have time to get back to the books. Again, these 3 books, it's close to 2,000 pages. And nobody has the time to go through all of this stuff. So you need to prepare yourself with with more compact materials, with some similar questions that you need to practice, and we go and cover all of this stuff in the class. Moral, do you have more stuff that you wanted to add it?
I do, but everything is really personalized. I have to just explain everything is exactly specifically for each person. So I prefer them to just call me and I'm gonna answer their questions patiently, of course.
Sure.
Thank
So
you.
if you guys don't have any question about the material and the process, I can actually go to some questions and show you some examples for that which is pretty similar for the test of 313D or A, and we go through that 10 questions.
Yeah.
If you guys are ready.
Yeah.
So go with the first question. We know the refrigeration cycle, which is include compressor, condenser, metering device, and evaporator. The question asks, in what part of a refrigeration cycle is superheat more than the other parts?
T.
D, yeah?
Yeah,
What
discharge
else?
line. Discharge line is a superheat.
Discharge line has more superheat. Any idea? Any more comments?
Section line evaporator is a cold. Also, they have the compressor. No, the superheat is the discharge line.
Number C.
No.
You are right. D is right, but it's not the answer for this question.
It should be C.
No, evaporator superheat is not.
Evaporator is only for did the cooling. Section line is also the show the cooling.
Yeah, it
Compressor is
shows the
little bit
coolant.
heat.
It has superheat, but it says more superheat and more
Evaporator
superheat
coil.
amount. So you know that refrigeration cycle has
Discharge line is a
compressor,
superheat.
condenser,
So,
metering
evaporator
device,
coil.
and evaporator. And that's the suction line. This is compressor. This is a discharge line, which when you measure the temperature at this line, it's more heat and it's superheated. We know that the compressor is just pumping the
Yeah,
superheated gas.
compressor only compress the gas, then they go for first to the discharge line. Discharge line
Exactly.
to
The
discharge line to
discharge
go to the
line,
condenser after that they're all circle.
you're right. The discharge line is pretty hot and it's the highest superheat. But the answer for this question is compressor, because the temperature of the compressor inside the compressor at the discharge line, the temperature is always 50 degrees more than the discharge line. If you have a thermometer here and you measure, for example, 140 degrees Fahrenheit inside the compressor, let's go with the reciprocating compressor. The compressor inside is 50 degrees higher always. So the highest superheated gas is actually inside the compressor. So the answer for this question is A. So most of the guys that they think it's the discharge line, but right answer is A for this question. Question
Yeah,
number 2. Do you have any question, Musa?
no sir, thank you.
Yeah. Question number 2. In checking a unit, you found that you were not getting any liquid at the inlet of the expansion valve. What's the problem when you don't have enough liquid at the inlet of the expansion valve? Again, this one is expansion valve, TXV expansion valve.
Undercharge. C.
Mhm.
I think is the A or B block radiator.
Yeah, the answer
Was
is
some
B for this question.
block,
Block
block radiator.
dehydrator. Dehydrator is the filter dryer. There's a filter dryer in the liquid line. And when the filter dryer is blocked, you're going to have too much pressure drop. And too much pressure drop after dryer, you're going to have some flash gas. So instead of 100% liquid goes through the TX valve, you have some flash gas. And that caused the problem for the system, and your TX valve doesn't work properly. So as a technician, when you guys do the service call and you see the problem, the question is, how do you find out if this filter is blocked? You need to check the temperature before and after the filter dryer. And if you have more than 3 degrees Fahrenheit, the filter dryers need to be replaced. So B is the answer, blocked dehydrator or filter dryer. As you see here, the book, I haven't seen any book goes and says the filter dryer as a dehydrator. They don't call that dehydrator. They call that filter dryer. But in CFQ question, you see lots of these words like this. And you need to get familiar with these kind of words. Question number 3, what's the compression ratio of the compressor? Anybody knows what's a compression ratio? The definition of the compression ratio?
12.
Yeah, compression ratio is the high side pressure divided by low side pressure
C.
in absolute scale. So we have the high side 145.3. We have the low side
Is a
25.3.
25.3, yeah.
But you are not supposed to divide this number to this. You need to convert it to the absolute scale. Anybody knows what's the absolute? If you have the gauge pressure like this, how do you calculate the absolute pressure? How do you find the absolute pressure?
5
In
is a high and 25.3 psi is a low. Plus 25
atmospheric pressure,
40-50 out.
what's the atmospheric pressure what's the atmospheric pressure in the scale of psi? 14.7. So you need to add this one to 14.7, and you need to add 25.3 to 14.7, and then divide the high side to low side. The answer is going to be 4 to 1. So A is the right answer. Question number 4. You definitely have one of these questions in the test. How many BTUs must be added to 10 pounds of the ice stored at 20 degrees Fahrenheit to convert it to water at 35 degrees Fahrenheit? So to solve this problem, you always need to draw a diagram. So the y-axis is temperature, and the x or horizontal axis is BTU. So we wanted to we have some ice. We put it to, that's a 32 degrees Fahrenheit, freezing point of the water. That's ice, and that's water at 32, and that goes up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the boiling point. You know that I use the imperial units, not the metric unit. So if you are familiar from the metric, you need to change you because the exam is all in imperial. And that's evaporation, and that goes up. So in this example, you have 10 pounds of the ice at the temperature of 20 degrees Fahrenheit, reach to the 32 degrees. That's a freezing point of the water. Can you guys hear me properly? Because my internet, I got a message that my internet is unstable.
Yes, good.
Okay. So from 20 to 32, then from 32, I have a changing phase or latent heat at this phase. And then it goes up to how much? 35 degrees. So you need to know that this process is sensible heat transfer. This is a latent heat transfer, and that's a sensible heat transfer. What's the difference between sensible and latent? Anybody knows? So when we talk about the
Sensible that you can touch and feel it. Latent is when it's evaporation.
That's right. Changing the phase of the water to steam is latent heat. The temperature is not going to change. Or changing, or when you have a water and it's freezing, you're not going to have the temperature difference. You see that it's constant temperature 32 and it's constant temperature 2012. At this point, you have 2012 degrees water, and at this point, you have 2012 degrees steam. And as you see here, the temperature is constant, but if you come down here, which shows the BTU, you have huge amount of the heat transfer. Why? Because of changing the phase. And that's exactly happening in the evaporator of the air conditioner. So we are not going to reach to this point in this example. We just start from, we have the point, I can call this point A. to B, and you need to calculate each part separately. From A to, just call this point 1 and this point 2. From A to 1, we have a sensible heat transfer. The sensible heat transfer is going to be QS MC delta T. That's a pound of the water, 10 pounds, times specific heat of the ice. You need to know that. You need to memorize these numbers. 0.5 in imperial unit. And you need to know the delta T. What's the delta T from A to 1? Temperature difference. Anybody knows? 32 minus 20, yeah?
Right.
From here to here is 32 minus 20, or 12. So 12 multiply 10 multiply 0.5, it's going to be 60, yeah? 60 BTU. BTU. 60. So that's one part. The next part is the latent heat. You need to calculate from point A to B. So sensible heat is done. Latent heat from 1 to 2, it's the QL is the pound of the water, M times latent heat of fusion, LF. Latent heat of fusion of water is 144 BTU per pound. 144. So if you have 10 pounds of water, 10 times 144, this is 4, not 9, guys. And it's going to be 1,440. And the QS again, from point 2 to point B, you have MC delta T again. And again, that's the 10 pound. And now here, C, the specific heat for the water is what? It's 1. Specific heat of water is 1. Specific heat of ice is 0.5 times the delta T. Delta T is 35 minus 32, which is 3 degrees. And that's going to be 30. So the process from A to B, you need to add them all together, which is 60 plus 1,440 is 1,500 plus 30 is going to be 1,530 BTU. That's the amount of the heat, and the answer is B. So you don't have too much calculation in this exam, but this is one of the questions that you need to understand how to calculate. Yeah, sometimes they ask you about the vapor process from this point to this point, and you need to know that. So you need to know some numbers. So who knows what's the latent heat of evaporation in IP, in imperial? Latent heat of fusion is 144. Latent heat of evaporation is 970 BTU per pound. And you know that the BTU is the unit of the energy in English unit. So question number 5. In water-cooled condenser, the water flows in. It's a commercial question, 313A. So when you have a chiller and the chiller has a water-cooled condenser, water flows in the shell or in the tubes?
In the tubes.
That's right, in the tubes. Refrigerant is in the shell, water is in the tubes. What rule of thumb can be used for water consumption of the water-cooled condenser using the city water? So we have a water-cooled condenser, and the heat rejection actually in the condenser is done by water, but when you use the city water, the rule of thumb is 1.5 GPM per ton of the refrigeration. Who knows what's the definition of the enthalpy? Question number 7, enthalpy. Because there's some question
All
comes
of,
from
I
pressure.
think all of the answer of the questions.
The entropy, less temperature, the heat content, sensible heat, less. No, the answer is C. The heat content of the substance is enthalpy. And the unit for that in our calculation in HVAC is BTU per pound. It's a BTU per pound of the energy. What's the result of the using an oversized pulley on a blower fan motor? So when you have a pulleys and belt, and you have a motor with the pulley and you connect it to the fan. If you consider this one is the fan pulley and this one is the motor. So what's the result of the oversizing the pulley? You're supposed to have, for example, 6-inch pulley of the motor, but you have 8-inch instead. So what's happening?
B, answer is B.
Decrease the fan speed.
It should be C or D. I would go with D.
Answer is C, increasing the airflow. Because there's a relationship between the D, the diameter of the pulley on the motor, and the D with the capital diameter of the fan. So you have the speed on the motor, RPM, and you have the speed on the fan, RPM, and the relationship RPM F, I call this, and I call this one RPM M, motor. So the relationship between the speed of the motor and the diameter is like this. Diameter of the motor times RPM for the motor is D multiply RPM for the fan. So what's happening if this one goes up, oversized pulley on the blower fan, on the blower fan, on the blower fan motor, that's right. So you have the oversized pulley on the blower fan, that one goes up, and everything is constant. So I wanted to know what's happening with this. So it says the increasing the airflow. So if you consider the RPM here, so what's happening with the speed of the fan? If this one, it goes up. If this one goes up and everything is constant, so this one is constant, this one is constant, these go up, so the RPM for the fan goes up. So if you have, for example, you had 700 RPM before and you change the pulley with the higher size, this 700 goes up to, for example, 900. So when the speed of the fan goes up, the airflow goes up. That's a fan law. talk about the air distribution a lot in the fan law here. So C is the right answer. Question number 9. We talk about a lot in thermostatic expansion valve, and there are lots of questions comes from the TXVs in the exam. So we have 3 different operating pressures in the TXVs. So TX valve, we have a body. We have a body of the valve, inlet and the outlet. We have the diaphragm, and we have a needle here. So this needle, when this needle is moving, because it's connected to this diaphragm, and the diaphragm is connected to where? Capillary, and it's connected to a bulb. So inside the bulb, there is some refrigerant. And based on the superheat, this bulb is connected to the suction line. When the temperature of the suction line goes up, the vapor pressure goes up, and move this diaphragm down and move the needle down, and you have a passage of the flow here, and the flow increase. So how many pressures we have in the TX valve? Below this TX valve, we have a spring. We have a spring down here, and this spring is connected to the stem, and it's adjustable. So there is a pressure below this needle, and the spring put the force at the opposite of the diaphragm, at the opposite of the pressure of the bulb. So we have the bulb pressure, we have the spring pressure. What else we have? We have the evaporator pressure. So answer is A. I have good stuff for the TX valve, and TX valve has at least 4 or 5 questions. Compressor, question number 10, a compressor with a displacement of 15 CFM, cubic feet per minute, actually pumps 12 CFM. What's the volumetric efficiency?
It should be 80%.
What's that?
It should be 80%, 12 by 15, 0.8 into 100.
Yeah, 12, the actual over 15. It's going to be 80%, yeah? That's the volumetric efficiency. So we've been, the displacement means the theoretical volume the compressor can move, and actually the actual is less than theoretical. 12 over 15 is going to be 80%. In the exam, you guys have lots of electrical questions, and you need to know how to read the electrical schematic electrical. There are lots of heat pump questions coming in 313D, and they're going to give you the schematic like this and ask some question. You're supposed to know the sequence of the operation of the unit, and you need to interpret this wiring diagram. There is some question comes with that, and I work with you guys with the different type of the schematics. I don't have any question for this schematics, but it comes lot. We can actually bring lots of questions from this. This is a heat pump. That's the air source heat pump schematic. Okay, that's the example of the stuff that I work in this course. Again, there are lots of materials, and what I wanted you guys to do is in the course, you're supposed to go through the PowerPoint presentation that I prepare for each session. And when you prepare yourself, you can come to the class, and we go through the multiple choice questions and we work with them.
I'm good.
Okay, guys, if you don't have any question, I think I let you go. Moral is gonna contact with you.